Rodgers hasn't taken a preseason snap since 2018. So how important is it for Rodgers to play in a preseason game? I'm going to start with you, Harry.
Not important at all. No. And here's why. We have these things called, they have these things now, we don't play them all, 3 of us retired. They have these things now called joint practices that are way more valuable than preseason games. Now, a team that beat them last year in the regular season, the Green Bay Packers, that is, was the New Orleans Saints. Yeah. Beat them, I think it was 38-3, 28-3, 38-3, one of those scores, right? I think this is genius by Matt LaFleur to bring in the New Orleans Saints to practice against them, because that's the team that embarrassed you week 1 last year. And what do they have? They have a secondary. They have Bradley Roby. They have Marshawn Lattimore. They have C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They have the Honey Badger now. So now you have guys in the secondary that you feel like are pretty good in the National Football League that could go against your wide receivers. Another reason why I don't think it's important for Aaron Rodgers to play in the preseason is because you have one of the better defenses in the National Football League yourself. Yeah. You have solid guys in your secondary that can also get this wide receiver group right. So I just think preseason, I'm not putting A-Rod out there to get hurt in no preseason. Can't happen.
Man, listen, I'm not saying he's going to go out there and play a bunch of preseason. For me, I'm saying go out there and get a couple snaps. And the reason I say that is because there was a huge drop-off in production, okay, between Devontae Adams and Allen Lazard. I mean, you're talking astronomical. I think it was like 100 targets between the two. I mean, that's a huge amount of production that just walked out the door. Obviously, we know that Sammy Watkins has come on board as a veteran guy. You know, they got, some younger guys, a couple young, wide receivers that they drafted, this past draft. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm not asking Aaron Rodgers to play a bunch of snaps, but just to go through the mechanics with some of these young guys in a preseason game, that might do them some good.
Woody, I got to say this. What are they going to be able to do in a preseason game that they cannot do in practice when you're going ones-on-ones against the New Orleans Saints? You get to do one-on-ones in practice and go best on best. You're not going ones-on-ones in no preseason game unless it's the third game, and we know it's not the third game. It's the second game. So what are they going to be able to do in a preseason game that they can't get done in practice against the New Orleans Saints and their defense, and then one of the better defenses in the league, their own defense?
Well, listen, I agree with you about joint practice. I think joint practice is definitely beneficial, but I also think they did draft 2 rookie wide receivers, and those guys do need to see something. They're gonna need those guys this year. Are we really counting on Sammy Watkins? Are we counting on Sammy Watkins? Do we know what Allen Lazard is gonna be? I mean, after with Devontae Adams walking out the door, they're going to need those young guys. So I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers should be out there taking a bunch of snaps in a preseason game, but I'm just saying just to go through the mechanics in an actual game, I could see that.
Chris, I'm going to let you jump in there.
Yeah, Victoria, I don't think that Aaron Rodgers should be playing in any preseason games. And Wood, I hear all of the points that you're making, and I hate to go against you, but I got to side with Harry on this one, man. I don't need the back-to-back MVP going out there and risking injury, especially with David Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins, his top 2 offensive linemen being on PUP. And we just got the news a couple of days ago that David Bakhtiari had a second knee procedure. So I want Aaron Rodgers to be protected at all times because I'm depending on that guy to be a force multiplier in terms of elevating the talent around him. The other part to this is 2 of the new receivers that Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be breaking in this new skill position core, Christian Watson and Sammy Watkins, both those guys ain't practicing right now. Sammy Watkins is on the NFI list, and then Christian Watson is on PUP. So maybe we can revisit the conversation when the entire supporting cast is healthy. But as it stands right now, I don't need to see Aaron Rodgers in a preseason game. I just don't. And guys, I think the biggest part to all of this that we're glossing over is that the Green Bay Packers play in the NFC North. It's not exactly murderer's row. This division will allow Aaron Rodgers time in the season to figure out exactly how he has to play with all of these new pieces on the offensive side of the ball in order to have success once we get to the postseason. So again, I'm not panicked about the Green Bay Packers. They're going to win this division walking away. No disrespect to the Minnesota Vikings because I think they're a live dog. I just don't think they're good enough to top the Packers in the NFC North for for the division crown.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.